Professor Jaren's podcast, the podcast that talks about Doctor Who and Star Wars, hosted by Lee Croddick. Welcome and hope you enjoy listening to this episode. Happy New Year from Professor Jaren's and welcome back to the podcast. I am Lee, once again your host. So it's been a few weeks since I last did an episode. I'd like to apologise for that. I've been ill and I've been trying my best to get stuff done, but I just haven't been feeling like it. So I'm back and starting off 2024 with a big episode. Yes, I have been watching Church on Ruby Road, which I love. There'll be an episode focusing on that very soon. I've also been reading as well, adding more to my Star Wars collection. It's just been a brilliant time. Even with the cold, it's still been good. This episode is basically just going to be me sharing my highlights back from 2023 and talking about what is happening this year and what I'm excited for, alongside some extra Bad Batch and Doctor Who stuff, because they were both this year and they were both last year, so those will be at the end. Plus I've got a Star Wars podcast day announcement at the end and a preview of what's to come. I want to go back to 2023 and I want to share obviously my thoughts now in 2024. The stuff I watched on TV I love so much. It was so good. There was emotion, there was comebacks. It just felt like a good year of TV. My favourite show was The Mandalorian. I still enjoy it to this day. It's probably my favourite series of all time, as I previously said. I just can't fault it. I just love the characterisation. There was a lot of people who proved themselves with their performances. There was some growth, there was redemption, there was good villainy with Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon. There were some big highlights, especially with the Din Djarin and Din Grogu family relationship, as Grogu becomes Djarin's son, and he also is encouraging him to do stuff like win battles, but also he comes back to save his dad on a number of occasions, which is so beautiful. Katee Sackhoff as Bo-Katan Kryze, I loved her. I still love her to this day. I think that's the thing I most remember, Bo-Katan's redemption. I felt Paz Vizsla coming from joke to hero. I loved that. Mr. Guy, Yara being a hero, Axe Rose, played by Sam Castellanidis, surprised me completely. I actually liked the route he got from being against one of the plans to saving everyone. He was the best. He was so good. I think there's a lot of good stuff on storylines, like with the Mandalore plot twist. I enjoyed that. I am going to be doing an episode on that. I can't stop loving that episode where they go into the mines and there's this threats beneath, and we don't know it's got imperial presence until the penultimate episode, which is the spies. I still remember it for being unexpected and brilliant. Ahsoka was another show that I watched last year. It was different to The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett. It's in that time frame. You have Rosario Dawson, Natasha Lee Bordizzo, David Tennant, of course, yes, Lieutenant, Ray Stevenson, Ivana Sakno, Lars Mikkelsen, Meredith Winstead, Danielle Insolito, Emma Esfandi. There was so much to love. There was a bit of criticism towards the halfway point in my personal opinion, but I still loved it for what it was. I felt the finale did prove some points that I had halfway through, and I'm glad that happened. I felt the mentorship between Ahsoka and Sabine was a standout, and the fact that Sabine struggles at the beginning and then comes up to send Ezra Bridger home and decides to stay with Ahsoka. It's just that moment where you finally find out what kind of character Sabine is, and that she is flawed but she is a hero and is trying her best. Morgan Elsbeth also kind of stood in. I felt sorry for her because she ends up getting killed off by Ahsoka. Obviously Thrawn's strategy, of course, which pays off, but I still feel for her. She was used, and that's the thing about the Empire, which I'll probably explain in a bit. They don't care about anyone. They just use them and dispose of them. I felt that the ending actually was brilliant. I mean, it's not my kind of thing. It worked, and I think there's potential, and I'm hoping that they continue these plot points, because I do think the whole thing with Ben Skull, I think there could be more potential of that. I don't know what they'll do, but Ray did a fantastic job and he should be very proud of himself of what he did. Thrawn does intrigue me. I wonder what he's going to do next. Ho Yang was a legend, and also those Ncuti were legends, and I love them so much, and I'm so happy that they survived. And Ezra Bridge, of course, Mon Mothma, CP3O, and of course Sansa Xena. He was so rude, and I like the when he got called back, especially with Chopper. Oh, Chopper was a legend as well. Also, Jason Sindler, loved him as well. Everyone did the best job he could, and he did really well. And I hope we see more of Jason. Finally, the kindness with some beautiful music. One of my highlights from their work on Ahsoka is the hyperspace jump and the Ahsoka theme. I listen to it a lot, and it deserves a lot of appreciation. Let's go on to 2 shows of 2024. We don't know much about these shows, but there's still something to be excited for. So I'm going to begin with the last of the Mandoverse shows. And of course, it's Skeleton Crew. This obviously is a lot more worrying because this is not like any of the other shows I've watched. And there's a new cast and it's got a kids vibe. Once we see promotion, I think things are going to hype up. We know the directors and we know the Daniels are going to be one of them. And they're Academy Award winners, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. And of course, Bryce Dallas Howard is back. Her last episode she did was brilliant. Let's talk about the children and, of course, Jude Law. Jude Law will be mentoring the children. The children are Rory Cabot-Conyers, who's playing Wim. Kiara Crato is playing KV. Robert Timothy Smith is playing Neil. And there's also Ryan Keeman Armstrong. We don't know who she's playing at this moment. There's also going to be a KK droid called Sammy SM33. I'm interested to see what they can do because I think this could be an interesting surprise and can't wait to see what's next. Before I move on to the 2 shows, of course, the Bad Batch and Ncuti, there's a show that I want to mention that I don't know if I'll cover it, I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but it does intrigue me, and it's The Acolyte. The Acolyte by Leslie Headland, starring Amanda Stenberg, Lee Jung-jae, Manny Jacinto, Daphne Keane, Jodie Turner-Smith, Rebecca Henson, Charlie Barnett, Jean Charles Chapman, Carrie-Anne Moss, and, of course, Jonas Sutomo, who we all know as Chewbacca, and he's playing a Wookiee in this. From what I've heard, it is out of my comfort zone, and I did try Andor back in 2022. It didn't work for me. I watched the 3 episodes, and then that's it. I just felt it was too dark for me. I would love to give this a try, and I'm hoping this ends up being like that surprise and you prove me wrong, because I have seen shows, when we on the Book of Boba Fett, that did well, so anything can happen, friends. Let's go on to the Bad Batch, of course, yes. Animation, in my personal opinion, doesn't get enough credit and deserves more appreciation. The Bad Batch has a great track record regarding politics because it's done strongly, and as I said before, it is shown why the Empire disposed of people, especially with the clones as they're dismissed, and I do feel for them. And if you look back at the 2-parter in the middle series, The Clone Conspiracy and Truth and Consequences, it helps understand what's going on, and I do think it gives a bit of foreshadowing for going forward. And you see them at Mount Tantus as well, so I think it's important to watch that and see what they're going to do. I enjoy this more than Series 1, but as I'm gonna be honest, I am still divided on Plan 99. Now, Tech's demise is so sad. It's shocking. I feel for him. I feel for the gang. But the Omega situation and that cliffhanger regarding Emery Carr being Omega's sister, it could have been done a lot better. The whole thing with Omega, it's not my thing. I don't like these kind of stuff because it just feels like you kind of feel someone's helpless. That's why I prefer it just being an episode or 2 and then done over. And that has me concerned going forward, because if Omega is stuck on Mount Tasfog for quite a long time, she's not going to get that chance. And as I've said, maybe with another character coming up this year, I do think she and Ruby Thunder could be at risk. I really do. But I'll get more to Ruby in a bit. If they can get this right, I think Omega will be fine. They've just got to pull out of the stops because there's one series left. Series 3 will be the last series. Tech's storyline is one of my personal favourites. I feel for him and I'm sad when he's gone. And Crosshair definitely feels like he is starting to learn that what he's done is wrong and he's suffering because of it. The Kindness, as usual, are so good at what they do. Their music, and they've made me cry again. They're too good. As I said, it is finishing this year. And yes, I've spoken about the Omega situation. I actually gotta say, what is exciting me is Ming-Na Wen returning as Fennec Shan. You know I'm a Fennec fan and I'm so excited to see her back. Plus, Palpy's back. Yes, Emperor Palpatine. We had him back last year. He's back again. And I'm interested to see what he's up to. Jimmy Wilson as Royce Hemlock. Legendary villain. Legend. Love to kind of say bad Hemlock. Bad. Excited to see what he can do next. I'm interested to see what the casualty counter will be for Series 3 because I have a feeling we're going to be losing a lot more clones and I'm not ruling out one of my favourites getting killed off and personally I'm kind of prepared for it, but if not, then yay! But if not, I'm going to be very sad. Doctor Who in 2023, yes, was the surprise of year. I was concerned for certain characters returning, but you know what? They've come in, they've set the bar, they've made the show consistent and recognisable, and they're good. This is what I've been saying for a long time. Thank you, Russell T Davies. Thank you. I want to see this standard going forward because I don't want you, Russell T Davies, falling into the same trap. That's right. I don't want any more Rose or Martha situations. I want characters to be good. I want characters to stand out. Just in case certain characters in Star Wars return and steal your thunder. I want them to be at their best. One of the highlights of last year, of course, was Gatwa and Millie Gibson. I think there's potential for these two. If they can continue at the standard that they are in Church on Reborn, I think they've got more to give. And they might be able to fix this problem I have with Russell T Davies as a writer because I feel like I want to see more. David Tennant and Kevin Tate, I think they deserved their comeback. I felt they got a good storyline and I think they're better together and I think the song is very important and I'm glad they had that. Yasmin Finney, of course, loved her. Ruth Medley, loved her. Gemma Ripley, stay at that standard, Gemma, because you're going very higher than you were with Mother. Mother, you did kind of screw her up there, mate, but I can understand. I want to talk about By Generation. Now, I originally was going to do this as a mini-talk, but it didn't work out, so I'm just going to talk about it now. I think the way I can sum it up, because it hasn't been done before, it's like Regeneration, but you split into two, and there were some quite humorous results of the clothing, but what I've heard about going forward, Shuei Gatwa has said there are bits of the story that will be seen in the upcoming series. It has solved the criticism that 15 is the Doctor in his own right, which is brilliant because I love the guy. And I think he deserves all the positivity. David deserves all the positivity thanks to the interview with Catherine Tate. I like the ending. It's more understandable on terms of collaboration. It's nice to see them avenge the past. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Let's also mention Molly Langford as Melanie Bush. She's coming back and she seems to be doing a lot better than she was doing in Classic Who. Once again, writing. Why do women in Classic Who tend to do better in Revival or New Who? Come on, guys! Right, let's move on to 2024. Of course, shooting me once again, seeing what they can do. I think the LGBTQ plus representation is something that is really intriguing me going forward. I want to see if they cannot wimp out Chibnall like he did with Phasmin. I still love it, but Chibnall, you wimped out of it. Come on, I would have loved a bit more. Russell, writers, get rid of the wimping out, please. Thank you, thank you. It is embarrassing sometimes. It is embarrassing. But from what I've heard, looking good. And I think the trailer might explain what I'm happy about. There's, of course, new faces. We've got Jinx Monsoon, Anna Burnham, Lenny Rush, Shirley Bannis, Johannes Redderby, and Jonathan Groff will be in Series 1. Nicola Coughlan will be in the Christmas special. Michelle Greenwich, Angela Winter, and Anita Dobson will be returned as the characters from the Church on Ruby Road. Carla and Sherry Sunday, and the mysterious Mrs. Flood. I feel like the episode that I'm going to be nervous about is that political episode. It's not my cup of tea from what I've seen on film, and it's got me really special with Millie Gibson. I don't think the Bad Batch political stuff is going to help me at all. I'm hoping that it's good when I see it, but we will see. However, I've had a change heart a lot recently, but the giggle demonstrated it was possible, and it is the best of the specials in my personal opinion. I don't know how long my 10 out of 10 streak will continue, but I do expect to do a bit more and then stop. But I am enjoying the show, but I also want to give it some constructive criticism again because I missed the days, and I feel like I want to say they can do better with that. Finally, I have an announcement. As you know, I will be taking part in Star Wars Podcast Day for the second year, and this year, Lee will be focusing on a Force-sensitive princess journey so far. That's right, I'm talking about Sir Din Grogu from The Mandalorian. I want to talk about Grogu because he's one of my personal favourites. He's got a good story arc going on, and it's the perfect opportunity to celebrate a lovely Force-sensitive found apprentice. To finish off, let's talk about what to expect. I have a few Doctor Who Mando crossovers coming up, so expect some comparisons between both shows, and I can't wait. I'm going to be doing tributes to some of our fallen legends. I will be previewing the upcoming shows, and there'll be more family reviews. Road to 60th Ambien will end this year. There might be a few little additions. In the next episode, it's all about the Church on Ruby Road. I'm going to share my thoughts on what I thought and what could be on the cards for the new team going forward. What did you think about 2023? What are you excited for in 2024? Comment down below or at @Fast22 on social media. I do love reading your comments. And thank you for listening, and I'll see you. Thank you for listening to Phasma and Jarens. Please get in touch at Phasma22 on social media. If you love anything I do, please subscribe to the Phasma and Jarens YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Subscribe to Phasma and Jarens and stay tuned